Hello friends, so I Dr. Vivek Kumar Srivastava welcome all of you in this discussion. And in the discussion basically we discuss about the application of the derivative, right, or application of the differentiation, and one of the chapter that is the calculus, right, where all these topics are covered. So in this basically lecture I will discuss about the chain rule, and then I will discuss about the total differentiation, and then Jacobian, and then I will discuss the real world problems based on these three topics, right? So now see where you can watch all these videos. So there is the playlist. In this playlist, once you click, you will get a calculus, this folder, right? In this calculus folder you will get all the topics related to this, like Rolle's theorem, and then maxima, minima, means all the topics that is covered in the calculus you will get in this folder, right? And this is useful for all the courses like BSc, BTech, MTech, MSc, right, where the higher mathematics include. Now first I will discuss about the chain rule, right? This is the chain rule for two function, right? If the function is given and there are two independent variable, if the function is given and there are three independent variable, then I will take this real world problem, right? Then I will discuss about if the chain rule for, just see here what happened. If first they have given the function and then this x is also dependent on two independent function, right? So these are type of function also we cover, and then we see the problem related to this. Then we see total differentiation. What is the total differentiation, right? I will explain here, and then I will take the real world problem, what is the application of the total differentiation. Then I will start the Jacobian for two independent variable x and y, right? Basically Jacobian is used how to check whether the two given function are dependent or independent. So I will discuss then I will take, this is first example, then practice of the example, then properties of the Jacobian. There are three important result related to Jacobian I will discuss. Then we take this is our first question, this is our second question, this is our third question, which is based on the third property, right? So this is the summary of the lecture. One by one I will discuss all these things. So first we understand what is the chain rule, right? Let's suppose if we have any function, this is given w is equal to fxy function is given, right? And further this xy is function of t. You can see here x and y both are function of t, right? Y also function of t, and they are asking find dw by dt. Just see what is the question. They have given w is function of xy and x is function further of t and y is also function of t. They are asking dw by dt, but w is not directly function of t, it is function of x and y. So what we can do, this we can apply the chain rule. First we differentiate this function like del f by del x. Why del? Because there are more than one independent variable. If there are more than one independent variable, then we use partial derivative. So f del f by del x and then dx by dt. Just see we reach up to t only. Just this, since it is function of first x and y, so first we differentiate this function f with respect to x and then x with respect to t, right? In the similar way, plus first we have to reach up to t, chain rule, right? First dw by dt, how we differentiate? W is function of y, so again del f by del y and then y is function of t, right? Y is function of t. So in the similar way dy by dt, and why we use here d in x and y? Why? Because it is only function of t, only one independent variable is there, right? So this is our formula for the chain rule. If we have to differentiate w with respect to t, you can also understand by this figure. So first it is this function w is function of x and y, so first we differentiate w with respect to x and w with respect to y, and then dx by dt and dy by dt, so that we can reach up to t, right? This is a very simple rule. In the similar way, if there is a three function, let's suppose x, y, z, and it is also function of t, right? Again we do the same thing, dw by dt. How? First we differentiate this function with respect to x, then t, again with respect to y, then t, and then, so here dw by dt is what? del w by del x. Again I repeat, why del sign is using, because this w is function of x, y, z, more than one independent variable, that's why partial derivative. So del w by del x and dx by dt plus del w by del y dy by dt, del w by del z dz by dt. So if function is basically function of three independent variable x, y, z, and then this x is function of t, y is function of t, z is function of, they are asking dw by dt. So how we can calculate? First we differentiate with respect to x and then t. First we differentiate w with respect to y and then t. Then first z and z to t. In this way we can reach towards the actual result, right? So now see, we see here one problem. This problem is very important, and by this problem everything will be clear, right? So now see how we solve this type of problem. So generally they ask the real world problem, this type of problem. Find dw by dt or rate of change of w with respect to t, right? If they have to ask, just see, they have given w is function of what? X, y plus z, right? X is basically function of t, y is also function of t, and z is also function of t. Just see, initially they have given w is not function of x, t, right? They have not given w is function of t. They are asking dw by dt. So what we do? Again we use the chain rule. Just see, in this example, the value of wt, that is changing along the path of the helix. This is basically the helix, right? And we have to change, we have to find out the change. Change means what? Rate of change, right? So we have to find out dw by dt, right? Derivative with respect to t, but this is not function of t. So what we can use? We can use the chain rule. dw by dt, just now we have seen, if there is w is function of x, y, z, so what we can do? Del w by del x into del x by del t, right? Just see, we have to find out del w by dt. So what we can do? W is function of x, so we can use del w by del x into dx by dt. You can also understand x will be cancelled, you will get w by t, right? In the similar way, del w by del y into dy by dt. And third one is what? Del w by del z and into del dz by dt. So in this way we can use the chain rule and find out the derivative. So just see, del w by del x is what? W is given x, y plus z. Once you differentiate partially, means with respect to x, and y and z are treated as a constant. So with respect to x will be 1 and y is constant, so only we will get y. Z is 0. Why? Because partial derivative with respect to x, so z will be treated as a constant. Dx by dt, x is what? X is given cos t, so differentiation of cos t is what? Minus sin t, right? Del w by del y, del w by del y, so again differentiate with respect to y partially, so y differentiation become 1, x is and z are constant, so x only become here x and z is 0, so only we will get x. dw by dy by dt, y is sin t, differentiate this function, you will get cos t. And last one, del w by del z, so x, y is basically constant, so it differentiation is 0, and with respect to z it is 1, so 1. And del dz by dt, you once z is given t, dz by dt is what? 1. So once you simplify, you will get this result, right? 1 here basically minus sin square t plus cos square t plus 1, that is cos square t minus sin square t, that is cos 2t. So we will get this result. Now next they are asking what is the derivative at t is equal to 0. So at the last we can put here t is equal to 0. So what you will get? dw by dt at t is equal to 0. Once you put t is equal to 0, cos 0 is 1, 1 plus 1 you will get 2. So this is the simple example, right, and application based example where we can use the chain rule and find out the derivative of the function. Now see this function. Sometime what happened? Just see, there are two independent variable. How the two independent? First they have given w is function of x, y, z, right? And then they are giving x is not function of only t, it is basically function of r and s. In the similar way, y is also function of r and s, and in the similar way z is function of r and s. Now if they ask dw by dr, just see here del w by del r. Why? Because del w is basically, just see, at the last they are function of r and s, that's why they are using the partial derivative. Just try to understand. If the function is only of one variable, independent variable one, right? If it is dependent only one independent variable, then we use dx by dt. If there are just like g is function of r and s, so we use the partial derivative del g by del r. Why? Because there are more than one independent variable. Now how you can find out del w by del r? Very simple. Again we use the same concept. First we differentiate del w r f by with respect to what? X, and then x with respect to r, right? So just see here, del w by del r is what? First we differentiate w with respect to x, del w by del x into del x by del r, plus again w is function of y, so del w by del y by del r. Then w is function of z, so del w by del z and del z by del r. Means first just see, it is function of basically x, y, z. So first we differentiate w with respect to x and then x with respect to r, right? In the similar way, if they ask del w by del s, so what we can do? First w with respect to s, del w by del s, del x by del s, plus del w by del y by del s, plus del w by del z by del s. So this is also called chain rule. If in the previous one it is only contain the function t, x continuum, but here two function rs. So if they ask the question like this, we can also solve. Here you can also see x is w is function of x, y, z. So first we differentiate with respect to x and then r, right? You can also understand by this figure, same as previously we have done. So now see the real world application. So now here this is the one problem, and this problem is basically based on the same thing, right? Just see here. Basically express a del w by del r, del w by del s in term of r and s. If w is given basically x plus 2y plus z square, just see, w is function of three variable, independent variable x, y, z, and then x is function of r and s, y is function of r and s, z is function of rs. So how we can find out del w by del r? So again we use this concept. Just now we have seen del w by del x. First this w is function of x, y, z. So first we differentiate with respect to x and then with respect to r. Del w by del r is what? Del w by del x plus del x by del r. Del w by del y and then del y by del r plus del w by del z by del r. So what is del w by del x? W is already given. With respect to x you will get 1. With respect to del x by del r, x with respect to r, what you will get? Partial derivative, it is 1 by s, because r with r is 1. Del w by del y, with respect to y, you differentiate, partial derivative, x and z are constant, so its derivative is 0, only you will get 2, right? And del y by del r, so differentiation of this y with respect to r, you will get 2r, right? With respect to x, it is become 0. Del w by del z, with respect to z, here z is, these two are constant, x and y, so z with respect z is square, so it will be 2z. And del z by del r, with respect to r, you will get 2. So once you simplify, right, you add simply 1 by s plus 4r plus 4z, you will 4z, right, you will get this result. I think this is clear. I think this is clear, right? Here you just see, yes, 4 2 ja 8, right? Because z is simply given in term of r, so you can put z is equal to 2r, right? Here 2z is given, so it will become 4r. So once you will add, you will get this one. Now next one, del z by del s. What is del z by del s? Very simple. Again we use, just see, del w by del s. So del w by del x plus del x by del s. Again we do the same thing. Here they are asking about with respect to s. First one with respect to r, here with respect to s. So what we can do? First we w with respect to x and then x with respect to s. W with respect to y and y with respect to s. W with respect to z and z with respect to s. Again the chain rule. First x and then with respect to s. First y then s. Then first z then s. So this is the chain rule process. X, y, z is given and w is given. We have to reach r and s. So w with respect to x with respect to r, w with respect to y, y respect to r, w with respect to z, z respect to r, right? So this was the first one. In the similar way we can do for the s. So again del w by del x with respect to s, you will get 1. Del s by del x by del s, So with respect to s, what r is constant, r will be outside. 1 upon s, differentiation is minus 1 by s square, plus del w by del y, with respect to y you will get 2, and del y by del s, with respect to s, log s is given, you know log x differentiation is 1 by s, right, and plus del w by del z. So with respect to z we will get 2z, and with respect to s, so this is not function of s, so del z by del s is what, become 0. So once you simplify you will get this result. So these are the simple application of the chain rule, right? Two types of problem we have seen. Now we see what is total differentiation. This total differentiation is what? Just see, sometime what happen, if there is the any function is given, x, y is given, and there is the small change in this x and y. After the change it will become x plus dx, and y there is small change, y plus dy. This is the small change, dx and dy, right? So they ask what is the total change in the function. Total change in the function, how we can calculate? Let's suppose df is given, we can first differentiate this function with respect to x partially, means fx. Fx means what? Del f by del x. First we differentiate this function partially with respect to x and into dx, plus in the similar way with respect to y, fy and into dy, right? So this is called the total derivative. If we change in x to x plus del x and y change to y plus del y, then what is the total change? Now we see one problem. By this problem it will be clear everything. Now see here what they are asking. This question say, suppose that a cylindrical can is designed to have a radius 1 inch, right? There is the, let's suppose cylindrical can is given like this, say, right, and its radius is given 1 inch, right, 1 inch, and the height is given 5 inch. This height is given 5 inch, right? Now but the radius and height are off, means change by which amount? Radius, we have just changed the radius initially it is 1 inch, now they are changing r plus del r, means del r is given 1 plus this del r is given 0.03, right, inch, and this height is basically minus 0.1. Just see, initial height is what? Initially height is given 5 inch, now they have changed h plus del h, right, del h means 5 and minus del h is given what? This minus 0.1. then what is the estimate the resulting absolute change in the volume? They are asking if we change the radius from r to this one and height from 5 to this one, means 4.9, right, and radius is 1.03, right, then what is the total change in the volume? So just now we have seen volume. What is the volume of what? Cylinder, pi r square h. It contain how many variable? Two variable, r and h. So if we differentiate dh, the total change, it is what I told you. First we differentiate this function dv is equal to, first we change this with respect to r, so v r partially into dr, plus second variable is h, so v with respect to h into dh, right? So the same formula we can use. Now you differentiate this function, dv is equal to, just see, with respect to r it become 2 pi r, they have given in place of r naught, no issue, 2 pi r. What is the differentiation of r square? 2 pi r into h into dr, right? Just see now, plus second function is with respect to h, once you differentiate with respect to h become 1, so pi r square into dh, right? Now you put all these value, you know 2 pi r is given, r naught or r is given 1, right? So you put 1 plus h naught means initial what? Height, right, height is given 5 into dh total change minus 0.0, just see, into dr na, so dr is what? Plus 0.03, plus pi into what? r naught square means radius square, that is 1 square into dh is given minus 0. So once you solve it, right, once you simplify it, 2 5 ja 10, 3, just see, 5 2 ja 10 into 30, but here 2 decimal place, so 0.3 pi minus 0.1 pi. So once you subtract, you will get 0.2 pi, that is approximate value is 0.63 inch cube, right? So this is the total change in the volume. If initial this means initial r is given 1 and h is given 5, right? And after changing means if we increase the radius by what, 0.03 and decrease the height by 0.1, just see, they have decreased the height and increased the radius, then what is the total change in volume? So this amount will be changed, right? Now we see the Jacobian. This is the next topic. So we have seen the application of the total derivative, and before that we have seen the what, chain rule. Now see the Jacobian. Jacobian is what? Basically Jacobian check whether the two given function are dependent or independent. Let's suppose u is function of xy, v is function of xy. We want to check whether these two are dependent or independent. What is the meaning of dependent? Let's suppose if I say u is equal to e raised to the power x and v is equal to 5 e raised to the power x. If I tell you these two functions are dependent, yes. If we multiply u is equal to or v is equal to, we can write 5 into u. This function is dependent, both are dependent. If we multiply by 5 in u, we will get v function. So these type of function are called dependent. If the function are independent, like u is equal to e raised to the power minus x and v is equal to e raised to the power 5x, so these two independent. Why? Because we cannot multiply by any scalar and get the second one, right? So Jacobian help to find out whether the given function is independent or not. Let's suppose u and v are function of two independent variable xy, then Jacobian. Just see how we can calculate Jacobian u comma v. This is very simple. It is the, it is given u and v both are function of x and y, right? So Jacobian is nothing but first we differentiate u with respect to x and y and write in the first row. So del u by del x, del u by del y. Second v, del v by del x, del v by del y. So find out the determinant of this, basically determinant of this 2 cross 2 matrix, that is called the Jacobian, right? It is also represented like sometime j of u v, right? Or del, sometime you can also represent del or del xy. Or simply you can write, just see here, del by uv upon del xy or Jacobian of uv upon x comma y. In the similar way, if there are, let's suppose, three independent variable u, v, w, dependent variable, and these are function of x, y, z. So how we can find out Jacobian? Jacobian of u, v, w. Simply we find out determinant of 3 cross 3 matrix. First we differentiate u with respect to x, y, z partially. So del u by del x, del u by del y, del u by del z. This is in the first row. Then we start v, del v by del x, del v by del y, del v by del z in the second row, and w in the third row, del u by del x, del w by del y, del w by del z. So these are the simple calculation. You can find out Jacobian, and at the last I will tell you when we can say that two functions are dependent. So u and v are, if they are dependent, right? So their Jacobian will be 0. What? Their Jacobian will be 0. If u, v are independent, right, then Jacobian means determinant of the 2 cross 2 matrix is non-zero. This is the very simple thing. If the two functions are dependent, their Jacobian will be 0. If two functions are independent, their Jacobian is non-zero, right? Now we see the example here. Let's suppose x is function of r cos theta, right, and y is function of r sin theta. They are asking evaluate del xy upon del r theta, that is Jacobian of x comma y. So what I told you the formula, this is very simple. Here the formula is mentioned. I told you first you differentiate x with respect to r and theta. So del x by del r, del x by del theta. Then y with respect to r and y with respect to theta. Then del y by del r, del y by del theta, right? So del x by del r is what? With respect to r. Once you differentiate r with respect to r is 1, partial differentiation, only we will get cos theta. Del x by del theta with respect to theta, so cos theta become minus sin theta, minus r sin theta. With respect to y with respect to r, that is sin theta simply, and with respect to theta, just see, sin theta become cos theta. So this, once you do the cross multiplication, determinant is cos theta into r cos theta. So and minus this, just see how we calculate determinant? This minus this side. So r square cos square theta and minus minus become plus r sin square theta. R will be common, cos square plus sin square become 1. So Jacobian become r, right? So you can say that if the radius is r, radius is 0, then Jacobian is what? We can say that Jacobian will be x of y will be 0. Means if the radius will be 0, in that condition we can say that this x and y are dependent to each other, right? So in this way they can ask the real world problem. Now these are the few problems you can I just give you all the exercise, right? You can solve all these problem, Jacobian of this uv, and here answer is given 4xy. Second one, u and v is given, find the Jacobian, this answer is given 0. And third, uvw is given, 3 type uvw, you know how to, this will be 3 cross 3 matrix, and find out the Jacobian, it is basically this one. So you can do this problem. Now see, there are few important property of the Jacobian, right? So first property says, if uv are function of xy, then there is the very simple property, this is called inverse property also, uv upon del xy, right? And if we calculate Jacobian of xy with respect to uv, just see, here we have calculated Jacobian of uv with respect to xy. You can also multiply by Jacobian of xy with respect to uv. So if you multiply, you will get the result is 1, right? Means Jacobian is the inverse property. We can also write Jacobian of u comma v into 1 upon Jacobian of u into v, that is 1, right? So this is the first. Second property, this is called chain rule. Let's suppose uv are function of rs and rs are function of xy. If they ask find the Jacobian of uv with respect to xy, just see, uv is here, they have given function of r and s, but they are asking uv with respect to xy. So we can use the chain rule. First we uv with respect to rs and then rs with respect to x. In this way we can reach. So del u by del uv upon del xy, Jacobian of uv with respect to xy is Jacobian of uv with respect to rs and then rs with xy, right? So this is called the chain rule. Third important property, as I told you, there are uv are independent variable xy. Just see, they are independent variable, not independent condition. They are telling uv w are not independent. Not independent means dependent, right? Not independent means dependent. So if the three function uv w are not independent, mean dependent, then Jacobian is become 0, as I told you, right? If it is independent, then Jacobian is not 0. So converse is sufficient condition is what? If u v w are 0, uv are not independent to 1, and then they are connected by this relation. You can also write like this, right? So this is the 3 important property of the Jacobian. Now we see what the problems based on these 3 property. These are very simple. First we see the problem based on the first property, right? So first property says, if x is given uv, y is given u plus v upon u minus v. Now see, they are asking del uv upon del xy, but here uv is not given in term of xy. We need u in term of x and y, but here given x is function of uv, y is function. Just see, if we have to calculate del uv upon del xy, then what is the condition? Basically we have to calculate del u by del x and del u by del y and then del v by del x and del v by del y. But in this problem u is not given in term of x, there x is given in term of uv. So we can use this result. This result says what? Del u by del x, del u by del u v upon del xy, del xy upon del uv. So we have to find out this first value, right? And we can use this result, what? Del xy upon del uv, del xy upon del uv, right? So del x upon del u, del x upon del v, del y upon del u, del y upon del v, right? We can calculate all this value. X with respect to v, it is very easy. With respect to u, it is very easy. So they have calculated del x by del u by this one, right? With respect to x, once you differentiate with respect to u, you will get v. With respect to v, you will get u. In the similar way, with respect to y, with respect to u, right, you calculate, you will get this one. And now once you find out the determinant, cross multiplication, you will get this result. So what we can say, since we know the first property, we have to calculate del u v upon del xy. So we can put in this equation number 1 this value del xy upon del v, means just we get the reverse of this, right? So what we will get, 4uv upon u minus v whole square. You put here this value and multiply here with the 1. Just see, del u upon del xy upon del u. So here we have put the value of what, del xy upon del u, and once you do the cross multiplication you will get del uv upon del xy, right? So in this way we can use the property and find out the solution very easily. Now we use the second property, chain rule, right? Now see, they are asking about what, find the value of the Jacobian u v by r theta. U is given this one and v is given this one, and just see they are asking about v with u with respect to r, but this is not given u in term of r, right? But here yes, there is the chain rule. X is given, first we have to differentiate u with respect to x and then x with respect to r. In the similar way, u with respect to y and y with respect to r. So we know the chain rule property says what, if this type of second property just now we have seen, del u by del xy we have to find. So u with, first we find out with respect to rs and then rs with xy, so that we can reach from uv to xy, right? Just see, so we use this result, chain rule, del u by del xy, right? Just see, we have to find out del v by del r theta. So what we can do, uv upon del r theta. So very simple, here they in the last they have mentioned here, right? First we uv with respect to xy and then xy with respect to r theta. So we can use, first we find out del u v upon del xy, right? U and v is given already, del u by del x, del u by del y. With respect to y means v with respect to x and v with respect to y, del v by del x, del v by del y. So once we calculate, del u by del x is 2x, del u by del y minus 2y, del v by del x that is 2y, and del v by del y that is 2x. Once you do the cross multiplication we will get this one, that is 4r square. In the similar way, del x by del xy upon del r theta, del x by del r, del x by del theta, del y by del r, del y by del theta. So again you can calculate, x and y is already given, x is given r cos theta and y is r sin theta. So del x by del r with respect to r you will get cos theta, with respect to theta minus r sin theta, with respect to r sin theta, and with respect to theta that is r cos theta. Once you do the cross multiplication you will get this one. So you put all these value here, right? 4r square into this is simply we are getting r. So total is 4r cube, right? So in this way we can use the chain rule property. If the function is not directly given, we can use the chain rule. First we differentiate then and then this we can, like first they have given what, uv which is function of what, x and y, and then xy is function of r and theta. So they are asking uv with respect to r theta, we can first uv with respect to xy and then xy with respect to r theta. Now we see the third important property. This is also very important. As I told you, Jacobian is help to find out the given function is dependent or not. So we told this is the property. A function, if it is not independent means it is dependent, right? Not independent means dependent. So Jacobian will be 0. Now we see one problem. Here they are asking u is given x y plus yz plus zx, v is given x square plus y square plus z square, w is given x y plus z. Determine whether the function is relation between u, v, w, and so find it. What is the relation? Basically they are dependent or independent. So simply we can find out determinant. If it is 0 we can say that it is dependent. So del, since it is contain three function x, y, z, so u, v, w with respect to x, y we can calculate x, y, z. So del u by del x, del u by del y, del u by del z. In the similar way with respect to v, del v by del x, del v by del y, del v by del z. In the similar way with respect to w, del u by del x, del w by del y, del u by del z. So u is given, v is given, u is given x, y plus y, z and plus zx, right? V is given x square plus y square plus z square. Simple differentiation, partial differentiation is given. You find out all these value, right, and put here, you will get this value, right? And once you find out the determinant, just see, basically once we add this, second row and first row, we will get x plus y plus z, x plus, and once we common outside, two rows are same, 1 1 1 and 1 1. If any matrix which two rows are same, determinant will be what? 0, right? So just see, we will get 0. This means that these three are u, v, w are linearly dependent, or you can say that these are not independent. Not independent or dependent, both are the same thing, right? So this is the summary. Now in this lecture we have solved three important questions. First we have seen chain rule topic, then we have solved the problem, then we have seen the in the chain rule itself, if the function w is function of x y z and then further it is function of r and s, like this, then how we can solve. Then we have check the total differentiation, right? And then Jacobian. In Jacobian, first we have seen the simple Jacobian, then based on the three property we have solved three problem, 1 2 and this is the third one, right? So this is the summary of this lecture. Further we include more problem, more real world problem related to the calculus. Thank you for watching this video.